That reality mattered not to President Trump. To him, the value in promoting a negative tale about former Vice President Biden, true or false, was its usefulness to his re-election campaign. It was a smear tactic against a political opponent that President Trump apparently feared. Remarkably, but predictably, Russia too has sought to support this effort to smear Mr. Biden, reportedly hacking into the Ukrainian energy company at the center of the president's disinformation campaign only last week. Russia almost certainly was looking for information related to the former vice president's son so that the Kremlin could also weaponize it against Mr. Biden, just like it did against Hillary Clinton in 2016 when Russia hacked and released emails from her presidential campaign. And President Trump has made it abundantly clear that he would like nothing more than to make use of such dirt against Mr. Biden, just as he made use of Secretary Clinton's hacked and released emails in his previous presidential campaign. Which brings us to the other sham investigation that President Trump demanded that the Ukrainian leader announce. This investigation was related to a debunked conspiracy theory alleging that Ukraine, not Russia, interfered in the 2016 presidential election. This narrative, propagated by the Russian intelligence services, contends that Ukraine sought to help Hillary Clinton and harm then-candidate Trump, and that a computer server providing this fiction is hidden somewhere in Ukraine. That is the so-called CrowdStrike conspiracy theory. This tale is also patently false, and remarkably, it is precisely the inverse of what the U.S. intelligence community's unanimous assessment was, that Russia interfered in the 2016 election in sweeping and systemic fashion in order to hurt Hillary Clinton and help Donald Trump. Nevertheless, the president evidently believed that a public announcement lending credence to these allegations by the Ukrainian president could assist his re-election by putting to rest any doubts Americans may have had over the legitimacy of his first election, even as he invited foreign interference in the next. To the degree that most Americans have followed the president's efforts to involve another foreign power in our election, they may be most familiar with his entreaty to the Ukrainian president on the now infamous July 25th call to do us a favor, though, and investigate Biden and the 2016 conspiracy theory. But that call was not the beginning of the story of the president's corrupt scheme, nor was it the end. Rather, it was merely part, although a significant part, of a months-long effort by President Trump and his allies and associates who applied significant and increasing pressure on Ukraine to announce these two politically motivated investigations. Key figures in the Trump administration were aware or directly involved or participated in the scheme. As we saw yesterday, one witness, a $1 million donor to the president's inaugural committee, put it this way: everyone was in the loop. After twice inviting Ukraine's new president to the White House without providing a specific date for the proposed visit, President Trump conditioned this coveted head of state meeting on the announcement of these sham investigations. For Ukraine's new and untested leader, an official meeting with the President of the United States in the Oval Office was critical. It would help bestow on him important domestic and international legitimacy as he sought to implement an ambitious anti-corruption platform. Actual and apparent support from the President of the United States would also strengthen his position as he sought to negotiate a peace agreement with Russia's President Vladimir Putin, seeking an end to Russia's illegal annexation and continued military occupation of parts of Ukraine. But most pernicious, President Trump conditioned hundreds of millions of dollars in congressionally appropriated, taxpayer-funded military assistance for the same purpose, to apply more pressure on Ukraine's leader to announce the investigations.